Welcome to Structure Fishing. As Buck Perry says, knowledge is the key to fishing success. Structure Fishing is a show that is packed with fishing knowledge. Regardless of your skill level or where you fish or what you fish for, you will learn something on each show that will help you catch more fish. We'll take you on the water and into the classroom. Let's see what we have for you on today's show.
Coming up later on HLS News, Illinois wants you to be on the lookout for the latest invasive species. Stay tuned for that full story and more later on the show.
Later in the classroom, I'll be talking about tools, part 2. In this part 2, I'll be discussing lures. And we're really going to simplify things for you when we're discussing lures. But coming up next on the water segment, we've had a pretty good season this year. We've had a good show on northern pike, on white bass, on walleyes, largemouth bass, muskies, and crappies. We've had everything except smallies. So today, we're going to do a show on smallies. And once again, we're going to be on the Madison chain, this time fishing for smallies. And just like any other game species, we're using structure as our guide and controlling the right depth and speed to find these smallies.
Oh, smallmouth! That's a big smallmouth! Biggest we caught today.
Hold them up there.
I think that's the biggest I ever caught. That's a nice smallmouth. Wow. This is the biggest bass I caught. Smallmouth and a largemouth. Beautiful 18-inch smallie from Mendota. Yeah, we're gonna let him go. Little smallmouth. What's on the twister? No, smaller. I think we got into a school of smallie here in Governor's Island. Nice smallie. These fish are really deep, so we're fishing about 22 feet. I think this is a smallmouth the way it's fighting. When it hit, it was like a pike, but now it's slowed down. Smallmouth. Oh! They do that sometimes. They just shake. Like a largemouth bass would shake.
He started the modern-day era of freshwater fishing. He is known as the father of structure fishing. His discoveries and teachings have brought pleasure and success to millions of fishermen who never even heard his name. He was inducted into the Freshwater Fishing Hall of Fame and the Bass Hall of Fame. He is Buck Perry, founder of the National Spoon Pluggers of America. The National Spoon Pluggers of America continues on today. It is an educational organization comprised of some of the best structured fishermen and clubs across America. The National Spoon Pluggers of America's non-competitive, supportive atmosphere is focused on sharing and helping each other, and where fishing is still a family sport. For a $30 yearly membership to the National Spoon Pluggers of America, you will receive a bi-monthly newsletter that contains articles by certified instructors who are experienced and intimately familiar with the techniques to help you catch more fish. Receive access to back issues. Receive Spoon Pluggers of America boat decal and patch. Receive an autographed portrait of Buck Perry, a copy of Buck Perry's Basic Fishing Guidelines. You will be invited and welcomed to attend networking events and outings held all over the country. At these outings, you will have opportunities to learn from the best there is, to ask questions and get real answers. You will receive a directory and have access to members and clubs across the country. As Buck says, knowledge is the key to fishing success. Start your knowledge now and become a member. Log on to www.nsoa.info to join.
Hey, welcome to the classroom. Today we're talking about tools, part 2, lures. There are many types of choices for lures. We have plastic, shallow running, deep diving, top water, jigs, floating crankbaits, sinking crankbaits, bottom bumping crankbaits, spoons, spinner baits, weedless, soft baits, hard baits, plastic worms, and the list goes on. We can take all of these lures and put them into 4 simple groups: top water, weedless, free running bottom bumping, and jump type lures. Let's take a look at the first 2 groups, top water and weedless. These groups of lures are used for obvious reasons: fishing very shallow water or during the spawning period or weedy areas. These 2 groups should be looked at more as aids and used when needed. These 2 groups have a place and will be needed at times, but they represent a very small part of the time being used. They are not our primary lures, but we should have a few of them in our tackle box if needed. This leaves us with free running, bottom bumping, and jump type baits. These 2 groups of lures will be used 95% of the time. These 2 groups are our main lure groups. Let's take a look at each one of them. Free running, bottom bumping. Any lure that is used for a straight retrieve, such as a crankbait, would fall underneath this group. This group of lures would be used most of the time. This group covers a wide range of depth and speeds, even more so if used as a trolling tool. But we can eliminate many from this group when it comes to bumping the bottom. There are not many in this group that were made or intended to bump the bottom. In the basic movements of the fish, we said that the fish use the features of the bottom when they move and migrate on structure. Our lures need to be bumping the bottom or as close to the bottom as you can get. In several shows, you see that we use a Buck Perry spoon plug often. The spoon plug is one of only a few lures out there that was specifically built to bump the bottom and can maintain exact depth and speed control. The last group is jump type baits. A jump type bait is just as it sounds, a lure or bait that you cast out, let it sink, and give it a jump with the rod to move it through the water. Jigs, spoons, soft plastic, blade baits would all fall underneath jump type bait group. The main purpose of jump type baits is to get extra depth control at a slower speed control when needed. This group of lures is quite often used during a cold front when the fish are extra deep or non-chasing or they have become spooked. This group is primarily used when casting. Depth control is secured by letting the lure sink. This group of jump baits will give you good depth control, but there will be limits with speed control. Let's take a look at these groups of lures in terms of speed. The group of lures with the fastest speed control would be free swimming, bottom bumping lures, then jump type baits, then live bait, and the slowest speed would be dead bait. As Buck Perry says, all fishing success and all fishing failures must be answered in terms of depth and speed control. When you're underwater fishing, you need to know what you are trying to accomplish, then choose the right lure that will let you work the depth and speed you want. Let's look at some examples. Say you were working this deep structure for walleyes right after a cold front at a contact point that was 32 feet deep. We need to select a lure that will give us a depth control of 32 feet. We would more than likely choose a jump type bait. More than likely a heavy jig or blade bait in the 3/4 or 1 ounce should give you good depth and speed control at 32 feet. Let's say we were fishing a structure that had a school in New Orleans and Muskies on a 20-foot break line, and it was in the middle of the summer with very good weather conditions. Our speed would probably be on the fast side, so more than likely we would use a lure that would give us a fast speed control at 20-foot depth. I recently attended a muskie seminar where the speaker commented that the past season was slow due to the fact that the muskies have seen the lures being used and are now conditioned not to hit them. The speaker went on to say, this is why we need to have new lures each year so we can present the fish with lures they have never seen before. Well, this lure has been around for over 60 years and it still catches plenty of big fish. Could it be that the speaker did not control the right depth and speed the previous year? Or it might be another way of trying to sell us a new bag of goods. There are thousands of models available of each one of these groups. They can all be great. The important thing to remember when selecting a lure from one of these groups, just ask yourself, what depth and speed control are you trying to check, and do you have a lure that will let you achieve that depth and speed control at the same time? There is no such thing as a magic hot lure that the fish will swim from miles away to gobble up. It will always come down to having the right depth and speed to catch fish. And if you have a favorite lure, by all means use it. If your favorite lure will let you work the depth and speed you need, then stick with it. A lot of times using a favorite lure will boost your confidence and you'll find yourself doing the right things automatically without even thinking about it. There is nothing wrong with having a favorite lure as long as you can work the right depth and speed that's needed. As Buck says, using structure as our guide and the proper control of depth and speed is the only shortcut to fishing success. For more information on this classroom subject, as well as any others, check out structurefishing.com/education.
Showing a deep brake line with a three-way and a crankbait twister. Most of the smallies are hitting on the jig. I think this is another smallie. Yep. And it hit on the jig. Yep, hit on the jig. Here's my 17-incher. Let him go. This is a really nice one. I thought it was gonna be like 18. Ooh, we got another one on here. There's a great population of pike, northern pike, smallmouth, white bass, walleye, perch, catfish, and we got a smallie. Maybe even a school of small. I hope this is like a medium-sized one. The average size is like 15. Yeah, that's good. What is it? A walleye! A walleye! This is the first walleye I ever caught in Lake Mendota. I never, ever caught a walleye in Lake Mendota. My first time. And I just said that there's walleye, so. And I thought this was a smallmouth, but nope, it's a nice walleye. We just lost a big fish, and we think we have another one. They're on right now. I think he's on the crank. Yep, he's on the crank. That's nice one. Yeah. That's a nice one. Well, these smallmouth bass are like 22 feet and they're like creaming the baits. Creaming the baits. I bet this is a smallmouth. We've been catching smallmouth all day. If you catch smallmouth and get into a school, you can catch them all day and it'll be really fun. a nice 16-incher. We're gonna let her go.
Unlock the power of HDS with your fingertips. The power to find a needle in a haystack. You will outsmart the fish. Get there first with confidence and always stay one step ahead of Mother Nature. Find, navigate, dominate with the new HDS Gen 2 Touch from Lowrance.
Would you like to catch more and bigger fish consistently? Are you tired of all the gimmicks out there? Buck Perry once stated that knowledge is the key to fishing success, not a fancy lure or the latest equipment. For a fraction of the price of a fishing guide, purchase Buck Perry's Guidelines for Fishing Success. This 8-volume home study course will guide you step by step and go over all the mechanics to become a successful fisherman. After completing this home study course, you'll have long-term success that will allow you to feel comfortable on any lake you fish and for any species. For more information and to purchase this home study course, visit structurefishing.com/education.
XI5 from Motor Guide, a wireless trolling motor engineered for anglers by anglers, delivering key performance attributes with power, toughness, stealthy, quiet operation. And for you control freaks, our optional pinpoint GPS navigation system lets you position your boat precisely where the fish are, instantaneously, accurately, built to earn you bragging rights. Meet the all-new XI5, only from Motor Guide.
Welcome to HLS News, your hook, line, and sinker news. I'm Candace Pierce. The Illinois DNR is asking anglers to keep an eye out for another invasive species, the Eurasian roughy. This roughy is a small fish that is 4 to 6 inches long when fully grown, and their bodies resemble that of a perch. These native range is northern Europe and Asia. The roughy was first discovered by the Wisconsin DNR in the St. Louis River, a tributary that flows into Lake Superior in 1987. Since then, they have spread throughout the Great Lakes. The roughy is now the most populated fish in the St. Louis River system and has disrupted the ecosystem all across the Great Lakes. They compete for food with other native species, and they grow and reproduce at very large rates. Roughy DNA samples have now shown up in the Calumet Harbor in Illinois. They are typically caught by perch fishermen. If you think you caught one, take a clear picture from several angles or put the fish in a Ziploc bag and freeze it. Note the time, date, and location of the catch and report it to the DNR. Vestergaard, a Swedish company that is dedicated to improving health conditions in developing countries, has developed the Life Straw. The Life Straw is an award-winning personal water filter. It will remove 99.9% of all waterborne bacteria and parasites, making any fresh water safe to drink. The Life Straw has no shelf life. It is ideal for homeowners during emergencies such as local flooding or for the outdoorsmen when camping or hiking. It has a life cycle of up to 264 gallons of water. It contains no chemicals, uses no batteries, and has no moving parts. It is ultralight at only 2 ounces, making it perfect to have for any emergency. It has been used worldwide since 2005. For more information on the Life Straw and other Life Straw products, visit eartheasy.com. Fishing license sales across the country were down slightly in 2013 when compared to record-setting sales in 2012. Most states saw a slight decrease of 3 to 5% in 2013. Alabama, Georgia, and Texas were the only states in 2013 that had an increase in license sales. Wisconsin has a new state record buffalo fish. 12-year-old Noah from Ottawa, Illinois, was fishing the Pentonwell flowage with his brother this past June. Noah was fishing from shore, casting a worm, when the big fish hit. The fish didn't put up much of a battle and took just a few minutes to land. Thinking it might be a record fish, they contacted a local DNR conservation warden. The fish indeed was a record, beating the old record by 3.5 pounds. Noah's new state record buffalo weighed in at 73 pounds, 2 ounces, and was 49.5 inches long. Good job, Noah. That's your hook, line, and sinker news for the day. Thanks for watching.
Before heading to your boat and every time you leave the dock, have all the detailed bottom structure you need to target fish. Offshore humps, ledges, creek channels, road beds, shown with the most accurate contour lines from Navionics. And it just keeps getting better with sonar charts. Submit your sonar logs for better local charts. The freshest data every day for your chart plotter and mobile device. View our charts online at navionics.com.
As Buck Perry says, we should think of our lures as tools. When it comes to really big fish, we need the best tool for the job. Big fish want big lures, and the bigger the fish are, the more reluctant they are to leave their deep water sanctuary. Introducing the JB series. Best used as a trolling lure, the JBs are designed to control depth and speed. The JB1 is 7 inches long and is designed for depths ranging from 15 to 30 feet at moderate speed control. The JB2 is 6.5 inches long and designed for extra depth control and can easily be worked from 20 feet to 70-foot depths with moderate to fast speed control. They are designed to run free and to bump the bottom. The ability to bump the bottom will even trigger the dormant and non-chasing fish to strike. Both JB lures are made from high-quality stainless steel construction and are made in the USA. For more information and to order, visit johnnyb-lures.com.
Fish on! Fish on!
Fish on?
Fish on.
Fish on!
We're hearing reports of a fish on.
Fish on!
Ooh, fish on.
Fish on, fish on, fish on.
Fish on!
Parents, to plan your family's day on the water, visit takemefishing.org.
Our approach to fishing and finding these smallmouths is the same as all the other species. We use structure as our guide. Regardless of the species, our procedures on the water are the same. All the smallmouths were caught on the same deep break lines that we were catching northerns on an earlier show. We stressed throughout this season that we use structure as our guide to find and locate the fish. Then using the right depth and speed with our lures, we can catch them. You don't need expensive equipment to catch fish. There is no such thing as a hot new lure or magic lure. All you need is a desire to catch fish and a desire to learn. As Buck Perry says, knowledge is the key to fishing success. Many of the On the Water segments featured my 8-year-old son Casey. This was to show you once you understand structure and how fish use structure, it is then easy to take others out and have them enjoy the experience of catching fish and creating memories that last a lifetime. We're going to wrap up this show with a look back at some of the On the Water highlights from this past season. Visit us on Facebook or structurefishing.com for updates and information for the upcoming season. I hope you enjoyed today's show. Thanks for watching.
Steel pegs, no steel bars, remind me of a place in my heart. Walking down the railroad someday as the sun basks in my face. Kicking rocks and throwing sticks, making my way to old Bex. Bagging groceries every day isn't quite the plan I know exists. I started again, planned and packed my bags, grabbed my 9mm and filled the mags. The only place to go is up from here, so my friends took me out for one last beer. When the train comes rolling through this town, I'm rocking the new world upside down. Mama always told me to stay off the railroad. The way I see it is the only way to go. Don't call it a train wreck, baby. It's my one-way ticket to a better place. When it comes to me, Mama always said, follow your heart and use your head. Don't let others push you around. Hold your head up high, keep your feet on the ground. I'll go alone from state to state. Where I land relies on faith. Take a good look and remember this. I'll turn around and show you what to kiss. When the train comes rolling through this
Oh, he came off. He came off.
Oh.
Wait, no, wait. Wait. Yeah, he's still on. He's still on. Oh! Duh, that might have been a trophy. Duh.